Hi, this is Tianna Thompson, Realtor with Real Broker LLC, and I wanted to go over property maintenance, a guide for new home buyers, so you can have an understanding of what that is, what that looks like, so you can be prepared for it, right? So, um, we know that buying a home or owning a home is exciting, but it does come with the responsibility of upkeep. So the maintenance it does not only ensure safety, it's also important for the preservation of the value of the property, right? So here's a guideline for property maintenance. Again, when you're buying your property and you do the inspection, you don't want to skip the home inspection. You'll get a more detailed document that the home inspector is going to provide you with, right? But this is just an overview. So the first thing you want to do is understand your home. You want to know where the systems are. So I would recommend that you go to the home inspection with the inspector so you can see what is where and ask questions and all that. So you want to know your systems, know the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC, and the roofing. Just have an overview or an understanding of it. Not saying that you need to turn into a handy person, but just have that understanding. You want to be able to locate your water shutoff valve, just in the case of an emergency. Know where your circuit breaker panel is, and your gas shutoff valve. And then review the home inspection report. And if you can be at that inspection, that is great because that home inspector is going to go through that property with a fine-tooth comb, right? So you don't have to be there, but I recommend that you go there so you can learn a thing or two and see where things are, especially as you're going to be closing on that property, right? So I would recommend that you create a schedule. Create and maintain a schedule. It could include monthly tasks. This is just an example. It's not something that you have to work with. Depending on where you live and your needs, it's going to be different, right? So, your carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, you want to check those monthly if applicable. Inspect your HVAC filters, replace them if they're dirty. Check leaks under the sink and under nearby or around nearby appliances or appliances near that area. In the springtime, depending on where you're at, of course, Florida doesn't have winter storms, but you want to check in the springtime your gutters and your downspouts for debris. You want to prepare your lawn and keep it up, right? Keep it maintained as best as you can. And then in the summertime, if this applies to you and you have sprinklers, you want to, you know, clean the sprinkler system and test them to make sure they're working. If that doesn't apply, then you want to inspect and seal your windows and your doors to keep your cool air in, right? You don't want to overwork your HVAC system. So you want to make sure you check the seals on the windows and the doors as well. In the fall time, something that you can look at is to clean your gutters and fallen leaves, because in the fall, that's when all the leaves start falling. Um, you want to service your heating system to prepare for the cooler months. Just take a look at it, make sure it's working. If applicable, you can have a professional take a look at it. And then in the winter time, I do know, like in another parts of Florida, pipes can actually freeze, right? Especially in January, February. Um, in January, especially January, late January, you want to check the pipes to make sure like they don't freeze over, right? And then pipes burst from things like this, right? And then you want to test and maintain your home generator if it's applicable to you, if you actually do have a generator. Um, I would say as well for annual task, you want to check the foundation of your home for any cracks or settling. You can schedule to have your HVAC serviced. Pressure washing of the exterior windows and doors, if that's applicable to you. Inspecting your roof for missing shingles, leaks, wear and tear, clean your gutters and prevent any water damage from, settling in them. Because if there's debris in the gutters, then you know how that goes. But in Florida, in the hurricane season, then there's sometimes you can have damages to the roof, right? There's plumbing, you want to look for signs of leaks. around the home. Drain water heaters once a year to remove sediments if it applies to you. And then there's heating and cooling. You want to change out your HVAC filters. And then, of course, you'll seek a professional to service the systems each year, right? And then as we go on, there's like, checking the wood to make sure it's sealed to avoid moisture. Checking your siding for cracks and damages, you know, address any mold or mildew very quickly, and then making sure that the humidity is at a certain percentage to prevent any damage. And then, of course, landscaping, avoid trim your trees where applicable. You don't want any damages to your roof. And then maintaining your landscaping for curb appeal, of course. And then there's budgeting for maintenance, right? Now, all these may not necessarily need to be done like every single time immediately, but you want to keep an eye on it because what can happen, not often, what can happen is you don't want these things to pop up on you, and you're completely unaware and unprepared for it. So budgeting is very important with home ownership. You want to set aside funds for the maintenance of your home and for repairs. This is just an example. You can speak with a financial advisor about that, but you want to set money aside for the upkeep of your home. And, there's emergency funds for things like the HVAC system breaking down, of roof replacement, maybe check your insurance to see what the insurance covers, but you want to also, be prepared. There are things that you can do, like minor things you can do on your own, and then there are things that may need a professional assistance. So electrical and HVAC, those require people with licensing, and you want to know when to get a professional to do certain things. All right, and then keep records. Document your maintenance and repairs, upgrades for any resale value. You want to, if you are handy, you can invest in tools like a lawn trimmer, a hose, things like that. And you'll see the need for things as times go by, and just stay proactive. When you address things promptly, it avoids things just getting worse where, you end up having a costly repair. So minor things can turn into major things when they're not addressed, right? All right, and create your checklist of things that you want to look at, how often you want to look at it, your smoke detector, your HVAC system, and your HVAC filter. You can pick up filters most times from a Walmart once you know the measurements of it, the specs of the filter. There's inspecting your gutters, maybe taking a look at the roof, here and there. I'm not telling you to go on your roof, but after a hurricane, you know, these are times you maybe want to check to see if maybe there are any leaks coming in. But just being proactive helps because then you're on the ball about it, right? You're more prepared for things happening where things are not happening, and you're just completely unaware and several things are happening and you're not prepared for it. So I am Tiana, your realtor. You can send me an email at the email address listed there, sunshinehospfl@gmail.com, or visit my site at soldbysunshine.com and book a discovery call with me where we can look to see what your needs are, and I can send you weekly listings of properties, whether you're looking to buy right now or in a year or two. All right. Thank you so much, Rich, for your time with this recording, and I will see you in another video. All right.